What up, what up, what up? It's your boy D back at you with another video. And today we are going over minor changes that I would make to the WWE main roster after Wrestlemania. Reason why is because they said the transfer portal is already closed or whatever they tried to do. So they said that's over. So I still do think to balance the rosters out, there's still moves that should be made. And with the draft always following WrestleMania, that's the only time we're going to have to be able to make these moves. So I'm going to talk about some changes that I would make to the WWE main roster to get the best out of them. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first name I have on my list is the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre. I have Drew McIntyre officially permanently moving to Friday Night SmackDown. You'll see why I have him moving there. I just think it's important. He's been on SmackDown long enough, and I feel like it's very important to get him away from Sami Zayn, get him away from CM Punk, and to get him away from Seth Rollins. I feel like Drew McIntyre needs new storylines to go after, and his heel persona is perfect. I just feel like we got to do something new with him. Because, in my opinion, if he's not fighting Roman Reigns one-on-one at WrestleMania, what is he supposed to do? And so after WrestleMania, I feel like it's the perfect time to do that. And the way to do that, in my opinion, is to keep him separate from CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and everything else. To let him go down a new path. So, first move I'm making is we are moving Drew McIntyre to SmackDown. Now, this move's a little different. I ain't gonna hold you. So, with this move, we are switching the titles. No, we're not talking to like Charlotte and Becky Lynch. But Cody Rhodes moves to Raw. Gunther moves to SmackDown. Cody will take the WWE Championship to Raw. The World Heavyweight title will go to SmackDown. Reason why I'm doing this comes to my biggest point. We are going to turn SmackDown into the ruthless aggression-esque era. Do you know how fire the ruthless aggression era was? We always talk about the Attitude Era because of the stars that were there and the wild shit they were doing. We always talk about the Attitude Era. Listen, the ruthless aggression era was different. That's them SmackDown 6 boys. Your Kurt Angles, your Brock Lesnar's, your Eddie Guerrero's, your Rey Mysterio's, Batista, JBL, Benoit. Bro, them boys were putting on clinics night after night after night. Undertaker was on SmackDown. Kurt Angle. Bro, what? If you know about the ruthless aggression era, you'll know it was different. And I'm not gonna lie to you, if you really go back into that ruthless aggression era, SmackDown was a lot better than Monday Night Raw. That's the era that they call Triple H's Reign of Terror as World Heavyweight Champion. But if you turn that channel and went to SmackDown, every SmackDown you were seeing some shit. And you were seeing some of the best wrestling. And with Cody Rhodes moving to Monday Night Raw, you have Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. Those big four on the same roster. That is your star power. That's exactly what Netflix would need to get those ratings through the roof. It would be perfect. And then on Friday nights, you can make Friday nights your real, true wrestling show. where you have killer storylines, but also you have absolute dogs in that wrestling ring. And that's really what I would do. I would make that brand split a legit Ruthless Aggression Era brand split. And that SmackDown would just be full of dogs. There's some more names I'm going to move to SmackDown to make that point more whole, but we'll get to that later. Next person on my list is Maxine Dupree. What we're doing with Maxine is we're taking her from, she can go with them if she wants to, it's not that deep, but we're taking her out of Alpha Academy and we're putting her back in NXT. Anybody of my wrestlers who are going back to NXT, there is no slight to going back to NXT. Reason why I say that is because you look at Maxine. Maxine has the look of a star. Maxine Dupree is a star. She has it. She has the talent, and I genuinely do believe she has the capability. But, on the contrary, she doesn't get enough wrestling time to hone her skills, to get better in the ring on the main roster. Because it's the fucking main roster. I think anybody can understand that. So, I think moving Maxine to NXT would be the best move because I don't know if you noticed, if you watch NXT, the girls get time on NXT. And I feel like between working on NXT, working through the TNA merger, it would be what's best for Maxine in ring. Obviously, as a character, she's funny as hell. She has the capabilities to be a character. I feel like she would be a really good heel. I feel like she can tell a good story. I like the little storyline they were starting to tell with Candice LeRae before that just died when Candice LeRae just OD disrespected her. I like those storylines they tried to tell with her. I know they tried to give Maxine Dupree a World Heavyweight Championship match against Rhea Ripley, but she just wasn't ready. And I feel like the perfect place to get somebody ready is if she wrestled every Tuesday night on NXT. I just feel like that would be the best move for her to take that next level as a superstar and to be taken serious on the main roster. She's not going to be a manager or whatever forever. And rightfully so, because she's talented. And I feel like to get that best talent out of Maxine, I think a move back to NXT would be the best move for her. So, I have Maxine going back to NXT. Now, with this, I have Jey Uso going to SmackDown. Why I have Jey Uso going to SmackDown? He's one of the biggest names. SmackDown's going to need a star to hold over. Kind of like when the brand split first happened and they sent The Rock to SmackDown. They're going to need that star. They're going to need a star to go against those big dogs on Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso could be that guy. Absolutely. Jey Uso 100% could be that guy. Jey Uso has to go to SmackDown. Reason why also is because I think like everybody else, I have Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. So whoever my SmackDown champion is damn sure going to SmackDown. They have to flip those belts to like get the best out of this. I feel like you just have to flip those belts. And I think Jey Uso going to SmackDown away from Roman and all of them is the best move for him to really come into his own and be his own personality and be a dog by himself. So it really could be just me, Us, as your World Heavyweight Champion. Jey Uso moving to SmackDown to me is the best move. Next move is we're moving Unholy Union to NXT simply just for them to be utilized, okay? I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I love me some Isla Dawn. Good God Almighty. Isla Dawn is something special. Like, she's just hella talented. I feel like she has the look. Alba Fire can just work. She's a dog in that ring. She's very special in her own right. They don't get enough time in this current era of the main roster. They did win the women's world titles in July? July. Don't quote me on that. It was June or July. It was something like that. But they did win them. It didn't. They really were just holding the belts for Jade and Bianca. So I really feel like they didn't get their proper run back. I'm A-okay keeping them on the main roster. I would move them to SmackDown. I would keep them on SmackDown. I would have moved them to Raw. I'd keep them bound on SmackDown. But I just think for them to be their best selves, they have to be utilized. And if they're not going to be utilized, send them back to NXT. I don't see any qualms or frustrations putting them back in NXT and let's say move Metaphor up to the roster. So that's what I call that one. Next on the list is Sheamus going to SmackDown. Hence, like I said, we're putting dogs on SmackDown. Could you just imagine a SmackDown roster with Jey Uso, Sheamus, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. We're talking. Who else? Like Gunther. Like, what? Those 5. Chad Gable, it could be 6. You have Karrion Kross, that could be 7. Those are like dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, those could be like your true dog SmackDown Elite 5 or 6. And you can really like tell stories with those 6. And I feel like I really would put like some of the best workers on, the best wrestlers, whatever you want to call it. I would put them all on SmackDown and tell that wrestling story. And Sheamus, as he'd be beating the fire out of people, and I feel like his style would work as well. Like, imagine if they moved Ilya Dragunov when he comes back to SmackDown as well. Bro, what? And you keep LA Knight over there too. You have Escobar. Bro, there's so many. Bro, that SmackDown roster would be sneaky dogs. Especially if you keep Randy Orton over there too. Come on, bro. What? Like, I would make that SmackDown roster nasty. And I just think Sheamus would be a big part of that for me. Next on my list is Liv Morgan would move to SmackDown. We got to get her away from Rhea, okay? I feel like Liv Morgan did such a good job at being a heel and at being world champion that I feel that it's time to move her. I feel like it's just time to move her away from Rhea Ripley so she can get to that next level in her career. Because yes, she can go and be tag team champions with Raquel. Cool. Do we all really, really want to see that? Is that something we're excited about? Not really. I could be wrong. Could be proven wrong. But that's not something I'm checking off of my bingo card. But I think Liv Morgan going to SmackDown also gives somebody else that Tiffany could have a feud with, could have a couple matches with. Because Tiffany, coming out of WrestleMania, will 100% be a babyface. I bet money on that. Because Charlotte Flair tonight on Friday Night SmackDown is about to get booed. So I just think that that's the best move for her. Next on my list, and the last thing on my list actually, is Bianca Belair moves to Monday Night Raw. With Liv Morgan going to SmackDown, there's going to be like a hole kind of there. You put Bianca in there. I don't know if Jade's hurt or not. We still don't know about that. I'm still hoping for a payoff in that. But I feel like Bianca's kind of just in this soul spot, like just kind of really not doing anything. The women's tag titles are cursed. They're not really good at telling stories with those tag titles in the women's division. So with that being said, I feel like I really want to get those off of Bianca. Bianca is a name in this company. She is a star in this company. And I feel like we need to start getting people in that women's division, especially on Raw, that would pose a threat to Rhea Ripley. Like, I love Io Sky. Do I see Io Sky as a genuine, credible threat to Rhea Ripley right now? Not really. She can be. But Bianca and Rhea in a one-on-one, that can go either way. And that's why I think we all want to see it so bad. So I'm moving Bianca Belair to Monday Night Raw. That's my list, ladies and gentlemen. That is my list of some minor changes I would make to current WWE after WrestleMania. Those are my list, just moving some people around. And I would just keep Raw on Netflix the way it is, 2.5 hours with your superstars. You tell your stories, you get the draws, the ratings, the boost, and all of that. And then I would just make Friday Night SmackDown that very gritty, ruthless aggression era SmackDown that was absolutely fire. So that's what I would do. Let me know some changes that you would like to make in the WWE. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. It has been your boy D, Forever Gang, and until forever finds you.